Hi all, Fuzzy Barbarian here again. Last time I posted a Nioh build, I just finished the main playthrough of the game. This time, I've just completed the final mission in NG+, so I thought I'd share my build from that, since it's my favourite build so far, and believe me, I've tried a lot. So here it is. It's a Justice Ministry armor set build, which kicks all kinds of ass, and is so much fun it's ridiculous. That picture you're seeing there though, that's not Justice Ministry armor, that's my refashioned version. I don't have the original Justice Ministry armor look on, but I'm sure you can search and find that if you want to see it. Me, I like to customize everything to suit my own personal character, so that's the way I look. Before I get into my stats, I'll just show you the actual perks of the armor set. The first perk is you get 1.6% damage reduction and 30% skill damage on Moonshadow. Moonshadow is a mid-stance skill on dual swords. I don't use it. I did try it out. I'm not a big fan of it. I prefer a different mid to use the Shrike, which is a much more fun and possibly the most awesome parry attack combo in the game. So I don't use that, but that doesn't matter. There's always a perk or two, and usually a perk or two that you lose on most armor sets. Not all, but you know, we deal with that. Close combat damage is 9.7%, which is good. Living weapon duration is +3, which makes, and Armory to Gauge addition is 21.4%. Those last two make this the perfect set to do a living weapon build if that's what you want to do. This is not a living weapon build. This is a key damaging build more than anything else. As you can, the 6th piece set perk there is strong attack key damage. That's what we're focusing on. But if you want to turn this into a living weapon build, you can do it very, very easily just by choosing an appropriate guardian spirit and an appropriate clan and a couple of other appropriate perks to your living weapon. But I won't be doing that in this video because that's not what this one is about. As far as the weapon goes, it's dual swords. This one is the Suraga Masamune and Hosho Toshiro, if that's how you say it. Now, before I mention the perks on this weapon, I just want to say I would not be using this weapon as my primary weapon if I had a choice. The reason for that is when you use a set weapon, one of your attribute slots is taken up with the set name. If you look at this second weapon, dual sword weapon in my second slot, you can see I have 7 attribute slots. They're all filled. If you look at the set weapon, I only have 6 attribute slots because there's no room for any more. This is the best earth-based weapon that has dropped for me so far in the game. I haven't been lucky enough to get one that I could roll or reforge and soul matched with my perfect stats yet. For some reason, just earth seems so rare in this game, so I've had trouble with getting that. That said, this weapon still kicks all kinds of ass, so I've kept it on. And earth is what we want for a key damage build. The reason for that is earth, when you attack with earth, it does double key damage. So when you attack with an element earth, it also does double key damage, but it also helps prevent key regeneration. So earth is what you want if you want a key damage build, and that's what we have here. And before I do go on to more about the weapon, I just want to talk about armor. With armor's pretty simple as far as perks go. I pretty much look for life, attack, key, toughness, and defense. They're my major perks that I want on everything. The reason I want toughness and defense and life is because this is one of the lightest armor sets in the game. The benefit of this is it makes you very fast and very quick, but its damage reduction is less than most other armor sets. By adding toughness, defense, and life, you compensate for that greatly. There's a couple of other perks we'll look at in a moment that also help to compensate for that, that really, to a point, make you just as tanky as a heavy armor set, which is really great, but we'll get to that. Now, as far as the armor set perks go that I've just mentioned, the one I didn't mention is attack. Attack is the one you want most of all. You can't generally roll attack on armor, but it does roll on gloves. So what you need to do is you need to, when you get a set of gloves that has attack on it, you play with those gloves on, and to get your familiarity bar up to full. At that point, you can soul match that inheritable trait. When you see next to that attack, there's like that little 2-bar icon with an arrow in between. That says it's an inheritable trait. What you can do when that's when your familiarity bar is full, is you can put that inheritable trait into any piece of armor you want. So when you get a pair of gloves that aren't your Justice Ministry gloves, you play with them until your familiarity is up, and then you soul match them into the gloves you want to keep, and it will take that attribute over. So I've done that on a number of gloves, and as you can see on all of my armor pieces, I have attack, and that attack helps bring your attack right up a monumental amount, so that's really good. I also have a couple of perks on some of these armor pieces that assist with my overall stats that I don't have anywhere else. I have dash endurance on one of my armor set pieces. I have Amrita earned on one. I have unlimited Onmyo on one, and life on one, and sorry, not life. Yeah, there's nothing else on that one. And on that one, I got versus lightning, which I've got to roll off. So on that one, I would put something better on there. Yeah, so pretty much what you really want is what you're seeing on that one there, which is life, attack, key, toughness, and defense. Okay, now back to the weapon. On the weapon, you want earth as your element for the key damage. Now in this, we're going to be using a lot of high and strong attacks for massive damage. For that reason, we want strong attack key damage. That will couple with our armor set perk of doing key damage. We also want skill life drain, because we'll be using a skill from our skill tree a lot to do those attacks. That skill is whirlwind. We'll be getting a lot of health back from doing those attacks. The Guardian Spirit that we'll be using also has that perk, which means the more we use our skill, the more our health regenerates, and it makes us super tanky. The other thing you want on here is combat attack, close combat attack key reduction. You could also go for strong or high attack key reduction, but if you do that, it kind of removes the ability to also switch between your mid and low stance and have a bit of fun. So you really want close combat versions of these as much as you can, but strong attack or high attack is just as good. You can also see on there the other two perks I've got which contribute a lot to my damage increase is change to attack heart. This is a heart build. We'll get into the core stats in a moment. And damage bonus less armor. Both of those are A plus because we have a heart build, and because this is a build that has such minimal equipment weight because our armor is so light that we get maximum damage bonuses from those two things together. So we'll jump to our core stats now. Heart is 99. That's our number one core stat. The reason for that is we get a ton of melee damage from that, and we get a ton of key. Between the key and the melee damage we get from that, we're absolutely... Oh, and life, of course. So we're absolutely able to pump out the damage constantly. You almost... with some of the other perks, including that, you almost never even need to key pulse. It's ridiculous. So go for heart. You can also go for skill. If you have a weapon, if you roll a weapon that's attack... The attack bonus is A+ on skill, then you want to max out your skill instead of your heart. But go for heart if you can, because then you get the best of all of those worlds. You get life, key, and attack. Strength you don't need to worry about. Dexterity you don't need to worry about. Body you need to go to 15. That enables you to use the armor set. Skill, I think the armor set needs you to have that at 16, I think, from memory. But we have that at 22. I have that at 22 anyway. The more skill I can add now, because heart is at its max, the more skill I can add, the higher my damage will be. So I'm putting points into skill from this point forward. Dexterity, don't worry about it. We're not worrying about ninjutsu. Magic, we do want to worry about. A lot of our abilities and talismans and whatnot we're going to take from the magic tree. And Spirit of 23, you don't need a Spirit of 23. Spirit of 21 is what you'll need for the Guardian Spirit we'll be using. However, I use 23 because that gives me access to the Raging Bull Spirit, which I have used from time to time. And if you want to use all the spirits in the game, you'll need to take it to 25. But I don't think the one that's 25 is worth it. I've played it; it's not worth it. So 21 is what you really need for this particular build. I'll just show you the Guardian Spirit that we're going to use, so that we can get that out of the way, because I'll probably be referring to that quite a bit. the Guardian Spirit we're using for this build is Karajishi. Now Karajishi doesn't look that great when you first look at it. It doesn't seem to have like no real massive damage perks that you can see there, but I've been playing with all of the Guardian Spirits and running around and seeing what kind of damage I get from all of them. This one adds more damage to your skill attacks than any other Guardian Spirit in the game. That perk where it says increase attack skill, it doesn't have a percentage, it doesn't have a value, but take it from me, it's the most powerful increase to your skill attacks that you can get. And since in this armor set we're all about skill damage to ki, we want that perk. Unfortunately, Karajishi doesn't have the greatest Guardian Talisman attack. For that reason, I don't actually always run with this. I only run with this when I really want to pour out the damage, and also when I want a bit more ki, or if I need a bit more ki, or which I usually don't, but if I think I'm going to do a lot of attacking and I also want to get a lot of health back, that will help as well. This has a lightning damage perk. If you want to run lightning, you can, and this will help build that. My second weapon, as you saw, is lightning, so that I can take advantage of that sometimes, but overall this is a ki damage build, an earth build, so unfortunately we don't take advantage of lightning damage. Just while I'm here, I will mention that whilst that is the one I run with for damage, Mizuchi is the Guardian Spirit of choice for me. I love Mizuchi. Mizuchi's animation and attack is fantastic. You knock down every human you face when you use it. You get a lot of Amrita from this Guardian Spirit, which means your living weapon is perked a lot. So if you're doing a living weapon build, then yeah, Mizuchi is great for that as well. You get more gold, which is, yeah, I don't really care, I get lots of gold anyway, but I love the enemy's defeated damage bonus of A+. What that means is for every enemy you kill while you have this Guardian Spirit on, your damage output increases. So the more enemies you kill, the higher your damage. I'd love to run with Mizuchi through a level where I'm not just farming to the speed running to the boss or farming. With this particular enemy, if I'm going to play a level from start to finish properly, exploring and killing everything I see, the damage bonus adds up to be quite a lot and makes this a lot of fun. But it's the actual animation and the Guardian Talisman spirit, which is why I really like to use this particular one. The other one you can use is Paired Regen. Paired Regen goes beautifully with the Justice Ministry armor set because it too does skill ki damage of 17.5%, plus its yokai close combat damage of 18% when fully maxed out is awesome. So feel free to use any of those three, whichever one works for you. But if you want raw damage, then there's no question that Karajishi is the one. So that's it for Guardian Spirits. Let's go and have a look at our skill trees. The skills on here are pretty cool. I'll have them all listed in the description so that you don't really have to pour through this video. You can just read them, make it easy for you. The first skill in well, there's actually a bunch of universal skills which are the first ones to get. If I go back to sword, grapple is the first of those. Grapple is great for stabbing an enemy who's out of ki. Then the next one you want is Indomitable Spirit 3. Great for getting your ki recovery speed up if you have run out of ki, or sorry, if you've run out of health. As far as Relentless 3 goes, more and more ki is what this build is about. There's so much ki in this build that you can run halfway across an entire map and still have ki left. You can battle and battle and battle and never ki pulse, so it's all about ki as well. Max it out to 3, Relentless 3. You want Sword of Execution, which increases damage dealt when attacking an enemy from behind with a sword. This isn't really a final blow from behind, kill from behind type of build, but you still can't, you can't go without this. This is a must-have no matter what build you have, in my view. And that's it for sword. If we're going as far as dual sword skills go, I haven't chosen them all. I have played with all of them, but ultimately I've settled on the ones I like. You can settle on the ones you like, but there are a few must-haves. Tacky Arts 3 is a must-have. Close combat damage increase 5% against enemies with full life. and that's for 10% and 5% and 5%, so 20% all up for that if you have the whole thing maxed out. You want momentum as the mystic art. You can choose firm resolve if you want to take less damage, but I find with this build that's not an issue. Just what you want is more ki, and this gives you more ki from your attacks, so that's fantastic. That's the Moon Shadow perk that you get 30% extra damage from when you hit them from behind with the Justice Ministry armor set. I don't really like that perk personally, so I give up on that 30% damage. Have it if you want it. I personally find that sometimes when I'm jumping behind enemies, it just ruins the moves that I was planning on making, so I don't use it at all. As far as mid stance goes, my preference is the Shrike. The Shrike is freaking awesome. Best parry combo attack in the game, and that's the one to choose in my view. Defense Arts 3 also gives you key recovery speed when guarding. That's a good one to have. I also didn't. I quickly jumped over those universal ones. Universal ones are ones that apply to every single weapon. So these are the ones where you see enables you to use key pulses even when dodging. Unlock every tree to get every one of those for every stance. Then you don't need to press your R1. You'll key pulse whenever you press your X to dodge, which is perfect. Spear, you want this passive Cornered Tiger 3. By the way, even though we're not using spear or sword or axe or Kusarigama, the reason we take the passives is they always apply. So you want the passives no matter what. This one, when your health drops to 30% or lower, you get more combat damage. You want all of those. And that's the only one for that. So moving on to axe. You want Fortitude 3, which gives you an extra 200 life. As I said, like the more of these perks you have, the more tanky you become, and having light armor is just not an issue. You want the Mystic Realm Inner Light. Massively boosted damage you deal when in the Yokai Realm. That's pretty self-explanatory. The Yokai Realm being those pools and stuff that they put around you to ruin your ki. So do more damage when you're in those is always a good thing. You want Cornered Boar 3. When your health drops to 30% or lower, your damage is reduced by 10%. On the last level, 20 and another 10, so 40% damage reduction when your health is under 30% is beautiful. That's it for the axe. Kusarigama. We want Armor Piercer 3, which increases the damage of final blows. And one other is Full Moon Carter, which is down here. When your health is at max, your close combat damage is increased by a total of 12%, which is a lot. Ninjutsu, we don't have a lot with it. Ninjutsu, take Concealment, that way you get better. We're not going to be throwing in ninjutsu weapons or anything, but you will get better damage from your bow and your rifle. We won't be using a cannon in this build, I'll show you that in a moment. In fact, I'll show you that now. I use a bow and a rifle. I don't use a cannon. I use the rifle because I can still move with it. With a cannon, although it does a lot of damage, you can't move, and I don't like that. With bows and rifles, you want long range attack damage, you want ranged bullseye bonus, and life recovery from bullseye is really good because often you take hits from other shooters whilst you're shooting them. Retrieve stray projectiles is absolutely brilliant. It means anything you miss comes back to you. I also have enemies defeated damage bonus, which I talked about before, so that's brilliant too. And familiarity damage bonus on the rifle is a perk I've got. It's not A+, but that's on there, it's okay. So back to skills. We just covered ninjutsu. With ninjutsu, I didn't cover this part. You want dashing 3, which reduces the amount of ki used by dashing. That means holding your X button down. And we want just the first 2 nodes of running, which increases running speed by a total of 8%. You can get it to 10% with the 3rd node, but I don't really think it's needed. But when you get the points, just put them in there, why not? Onmyo Magic is the next one. This is where we put a lot of our points. If you look at our core, remember our core stats, we've got more in magic than anything else, and that's because we have a lot of magic skills. The first one is Weakness Talisman, right up to the 3 level. If you're not sure why we go to the 3 level, there's 2 reasons. 1, you get more of the talismans to use, and 2, it costs less to use a talisman the more you've unlocked it. So you can see at the bottom there, Jutsu cost of that 3rd tier is only 2, but the Jutsu cost of the 1st tier is 4. If you're going to use 6 of these talismans, then it's going to cost you the 4 plus the 3 plus the 2. But if you're only going to use 4, you want to unlock all 3 so that you only have to use the last 2 to get your 4, and as a result, Jutsu cost of 3 and 2 means a 5 Jutsu cost to get 4 talismans, versus if you had just the first 2 unlocked, it would cost you 4 and 3 is 7. So Jutsu cost is important, or magic cost is important, because when you go to respond to me, the shrine, when you go to the shrine and you're here, see the Nioh magic capacity, I have it at 40, that's the max. That's important. Everything costs you when you want to equip it, and you want that Nioh magic capacity at max, and you want all of your skills maxed so you can get as many skills in as possible. Back to magic. Weakness talismans at 3. We want life seal talismans at 3. Life seal talismans, what they do is they reduce your enemy's ability to recover ki. This build is all about destroying ki. When they can't recover ki and you're destroying ki, it makes the enemy's ability to attack you weak, it makes them vulnerable to attack, and it makes killing them fast very, very easy. Sloth talismans I have at 3. With this build you don't really need to use sloth talismans too much. I use them a lot for farming revenants. Not that revenants are hard, revenants are easy, but if you have 6 sloth talismans and you just sloth the first 6 revenants you face, you just kill them in so fast, so quickly, it's insane, and you can farm revenants much faster. You don't need to do that though. Sometimes I always carry 2 sloth talismans for that occasional moment where you've got some mini bosses on your case and there's multiple of them and you want to slow one down whilst attacking the other. That's fine. So sloth talismans are good for that. Mystic art wise, you want Awakening. Awakening enables you to cast any of the magic we have here on yourself. That's only magic you use on yourself, like things that buff your own power and everything. Magic that you cast on an enemy that does not apply to. It does speed it up, I should say, it does speed it up slightly. Like the casting speed of Nioh magic on others, it's sped up slightly, but it is not instant. Anything you cast on yourself will be instant, so you still want that. You want Talisman Earth 3. This is all about ki. Earth is the element that does that damage, so we want as much Earth Talismans in our pocket as we can carry. You want Pure Mind 3. That enables you to do more damage when in the Yoki realm of 2 plus 200. Now, Resistance and Steel Talismans we don't really use, I'm not really using, but they're necessary to unlock Protection Talismans. You want to unlock all 3 of those. That will only give you 3 Protection Talismans, but people say Sloth Talismans are the most overpowered thing in the game. I disagree. I think Protection Talismans are. Protection Talismans, whilst a Sloth Talisman will slow down a boss, Protection Talismans will make it completely ineffectual. The boss can hit you and you will take no damage when you have one of these running. So Protection Talismans to me are more OP than anything else, and they're fantastic. But since you only get 3, you've got to pick and choose when you use them, and they're very good for farming. Definitely unlock those. Next one is Evil Ward 3. Basically reduces the damage you take from yokai. You can't go past that. You want Carnage Talisman 3 as well. Carnage Talismans enable you to do way more damage, and I mean way more damage. They do reduce your defense, but with all the perks we've got, perking our defense, with our movement to get out of trouble because we've got so much ki and we move so fast, I've never really noticed that's a problem. I believe Steel Talismans couple well with Carnage Talismans to help raise your defense, because this lowers your defense, but I don't need it. You won't need it. This build doesn't need it. Finally, you want Guardian Spirit Talisman of 3. I don't know whether you're going to use Guardian Spirits or not, but there are some times where knocking down powerful human bosses, when you have, like in the, I think it's the 2 Kings mission, you've got 2 powerful bosses. Knocking them down is really helpful to be able to defeat those easily. Plus, it's fun knocking down human enemies and stabbing them in the back. It's just a load of fun. So you've got to have Guardian Spirits, ones that knock them down. Plus, any Guardian Spirit you want to use, this gives you the ability to use the Guardian Spirit power as a get out of jail card. Some, like the paired Regen, for example, do massive area of attack damage with lightning, slowing if you're getting swamped from all sides. It'll slow enemies down and do damage, so definitely take this. Inanimate Enchantment 3 extends the use of your living weapon use time by 1. We already get +3 with our Justice Ministry armor set. So with these, if you have all 3, you get 3 +1 +1. So that's 5 and the 3 from our set. That's a +8 extension that makes your living weapon last for ages. In addition to the extra Amrita we gain as a result of our set, and our perks, it makes your living weapon last forever. If you're making a living weapon build, this suits it perfectly. If you're not, you still want this because it still suits it perfectly. Finally, make sure Incantation Mastery is maxed out to 3, maxed out to all 3. That gives you a total of, I think it's 10, 4 and 3 is 6, yep. It's a total of 10 extra capacity, and that takes you up to the max capacity of 40, enabling you to choose as much of your talismans and perks for your shortcuts as possible. For me, here's how I structure my shortcuts. I have 4 Earth Talismans, 4 Weakness Talismans, 4 Carnage, and 4 Life Seal. I have Elixirs, that varies obviously, but Protection Talisman of 3, that's the max. I have 3 Guardian Spirit Talisman. You can take that up to 9 if you want to drop the amount of these that you have, but 3's enough. Sometimes I take that up to 9 if I'm taking Mizuchi out because it's just so much fun. But 3's fine to start with, and 2 Sloth Talismans. If I up that for farming revenants or bosses, like I said, if I want to, but mostly I just leave 2 there for get out of jail cards if I need them. If you think you need more Sloth, go for it. I don't care if you play with Sloth or not. I don't care if you play with Protection Talismans or not, but this is what works for me. And the way I have it set up is Elixir is on my second shortcut. I find with the health regen we get from the health recovery from skill key on our weapon and on our guardian, that I don't really use my elixirs as much as I used to. For that reason, it's on my second shortcut, it's not on my primary shortcut. Earth Talisman is on my primary shortcut. And if you look at these, Weakness, Carnage and Life Seal, I have it set up so I know that everything on my first shortcut panel casts on the enemy, and everything except for Carnage obviously, but it's all about dealing damage to the enemy, and everything on my second is all about protection. And I consider Sloth and Guardian Spirit Talismans protection because I really only ever use them if I need them, unless I'm using Mizuchi and I want to do it for fun. So that's pretty much how I set that up. As far as your equipment, prayer beads, Magatama, what I use, the thing you want to go for here is Yokai Close Combat damage on both. I want Earth damage on them as well. I've got it on that second one. I don't have it on that first one. As soon as one drops for me that has Yokai Close Combat damage and Earth damage on, that I'll have them both. For now though, Yokai Close Combat damage is really, to me, always the priority, and Earth damage is the second priority. Get both and you're going to be very happy. As far as clans go, you've got a few choices here. I prefer clan Honda for this build. The reason I prefer Honda is that Honda gives you a 40%, just find it, 40% less damage when you're full, and yeah, there we go, 40% less damage when you have a full life, and skill damage of 7%. That skill damage of 7% is excellent. I ran with Date for a while, Kato for a while, or Kato for a while, because it gave me 10% earth damage, and we're all about earth damage because it's a key build. It also gave me damage reduction when attacking. That is great, and you can run with that too if you want to maximize your earth damage. However, Honda, 7% skill damage. Our skill damage with this build is massive, and I'll show you why in a moment. Skill damage is massive, and with the skill damage being massive, the 7% increase to skill damage ends up being a higher damage attack figure than if you were running 10% earth. Simple as that. It's not necessarily as high to their key because the earth damage can double, but it depends on how much earth damage you're putting out. If you're not always running an elemental damage, then it's only 10% extra on your weapon damage or on whatever earth damage you got going. Mine's 14 on the weapon, so an extra 1.4 does not come close to the extra damage you get from your skill damage when we're performing high and strong skill attacks with this character. So Honda is the way to go. I did run Kato, the first one. Not Kato, Date. I did run Date for a while. Where's that? I can never find him here. Where are you? Where are you, Date? There you go. I did run that when I was just playing around with living weapon builds. The durability and living weapon duration just makes you a living weapon tank. But I don't really use living weapon enough, or in situations that really require that as much. Like if I'm surrounded by, I don't know, 3 or 4 human enemies or ghoul enemies or something, I just find I don't need it, so I don't use it. But if you want a living weapon build, that's a good one to go with. There's also Tachibana. Where's that? There we go, Tachibana. If you're running a lightning build with this instead of an earth build to take advantage of the Guardian Spirit of choice, then because it does lightning damage buff, then you get another 12% lightning damage here. But, you know, I'm not running lightning damage. I think your key damage is the key with this build. And I might have skipped past it a little bit fast, or I'm not even really sure if I mentioned it. But with the dual swords, the key skill that we're talking about is called Windstorm and Windstorm 2. Windstorm does a spinning attack when you hold your guard, L1, and you press triangle, and Windstorm 2 just makes the damage of that even more. Why this is great is because you can guard against attacks, take 0 damage when you block an attack, and then immediately press triangle and deliver a massive damage attack with Windstorm. The damage is insane. Now, one thing I should also point out is, would have noticed I'm running 2 dual swords. The reason I'm running 2 dual swords is twofold. One reason is I don't like seeing a spear sticking up off my back or a Kusarigama hanging off my waist. If I run 2 dual swords, then my character only has 2 dual swords on his waist. I prefer that. It's a cleaner look. The other reason is a second set of dual swords gives me access to a second element. If you want to fight the water creatures in the Umibozo level, then you can put on a fire dual sword. If you want to take advantage of the lightning perks of the Guardian Spirit you're using or whatever, if you want to use lightning, then you can run a lightning sword. That way you get multiple elements to play with, and you can have a lot of fun with mixing and matching those. And the other reason is normally in the past I would have put a spear or a Kusarigama or something on the second slot, so I would get more area damage. So if I was attacked by multiple people, I could take out multiple people at once. That is rendered completely not needed thanks to Windstorm. With Windstorm, you can take out everything. You can hurt and hit and stun momentarily everything around you. As far as shrine perks go, I always run with Amrita acquired for 2 reasons. The more Amrita you get, the longer your living weapon lasts. The more Amrita you get, the faster you can level up. And the more Amrita you get, the faster your living weapon will power up. I can't go past any of that. However, if I am farming and I'm specifically farming for a sword or for armor, I will swap to these. It's rare that I will swap to Healer Blessing these days. In the beginning, that's all I ran with. Now I never run with that because the health regen I have on my sword and on the Guardian Spirit renders the need for elixirs not useless, but the need for them vastly reduced. Remember, skill life drain is the one to go for with this particular build. There is another one, I can't remember what it's called, something like close combat attack life recovery or something like that. I've played around with the different ones. Those ones do not regenerate health as fast as the skill life drains. I'm absolutely convinced of that. when I use skill life drain, I see my health bar going up with each hit I do. With the other one, I'm half the time I'm wondering why it didn't go up. So skill life drain is the one to go for. The other thing I want to mention to you is the Justice Ministry set is, you're probably wondering where to obtain it. I'll make a video on how to farm it, but if I zoom out of the map, it's in the Sekigahara region. The mission to do is Sekigahara, and the first boss, there's 2 bosses in that mission. The first boss is the boss that drops the set. Obviously you can get the set off Revenants, but I found that not a lot of people are running with this set. In fact, I've never seen a post anywhere with a build for this set, which is why it took me a long time to really customize this to the point where I think the build I have is just ass-kicking fantastic and so much fun to play with. So farm the Sekigahara boss. I'll post a video on how to do that shortly. So that's pretty easy. The other thing is, in the Kinkai region, there's the Demon of Mount Hai mission. At the end of that is the White Tiger boss. The White Tiger boss drops White Tiger Fur. White Tiger Fur is what you need to craft the dual swords for this set, to forge the dual swords for this set. The dual sword is the Tsuragi Masamune and Hocho Tishiro. At first you'll think White Tiger Fur, and it only drops 1 randomly from a boss. Probably 90% of the time you kill the boss it drops. Occasionally it won't, but mostly it does. It's very easy to farm that boss, especially with this set. Very easy if you want to try and farm and get the best possible forging of this weapon. To forge it, you just need the White Tiger Fur, and the materials you need for it will also drop as you farm the boss. You'll get them from disassembling the tons of items that drop when you kill the boss. To forge this particular weapon, go down to forge, hit triangle, put in 10 divine fragments, and just click forge. Hopefully you'll get a divine version, and there we go. That's not a too bad one right there. But yeah, just keep farming the boss and keep forging if you want. I found that's a faster way to get this sword than by farming the actual boss that drops the Justice Ministry set. He tends to drop the dual swords not very often, and when he does drop them, they're usually blues or purples. I think I got 1 divine from him in, like, I don't know, 20 runs against him, or 15 runs against him, or something like that. So he doesn't drop them very frequently, but he does drop the smithing text fairly soon. I got it like on my 2nd run. So once you get the smithing text, you can forge the sword. So that's the easiest way to do it. I'll post videos on how to do that though, and I'll link to those in the description below when I do. In the description below also you'll find absolutely everything I've discussed here, plus a little bit more. I've put numbers against the skills you need, which trace how many skill points you need to completely unlock it to the top. That way, if you don't have all the skill points that I have, and you're not able to max out your heart to 99 or your magic to 38 and whatnot, you'll be able to follow that and see, as you get your skill points, how much it's going to cost you to open up what thing next, and that should help you get further along towards this build faster. Now, apart from that, that's all there is to it. I know you're going to love this build. You'll see some videos from me doing some farming, and you'll see just how much this build kicks ass. It's so light, it's so fast. You can run and run and run. Your ki barely depletes. You can defend for what feels like forever without losing ki. You get tons of damage. You can 2 and 3 shot bosses, 1-shot some hard enemies. You can you destroy the ki of revenants and other sword-wielding enemies really fast, making it hard for them to attack, making them stop and take your final blow damage. You hardly ever need to worry about elixirs. Your living weapon powers up fast. Farming is a cinch because you can kill bosses and revenants super duper easy, and you get tons of ki. So if you don't ki pulse, or you forget to ki pulse it, honestly I have so much ki I forget to ki pulse now, so that's really cool. But if you ki pulse, even better. Hopefully that's everything. If not, post a comment and I'll try to answer you as best I can. Also read the description before you post, because it'll probably be in there. I think I've covered everything in the description, and that's it for me. Have a good one, and I hope you enjoy playing with this build. Bye for now.